Okay, I know the title's a bit harsh, but have you ever seen a video that's just like... Okay, I fully understand that my channel is devolving. Before anyone gets confused, let's just start at the beginning. PewDiePie uploads a video about him reacting to a dating coach that reacted to him.
Today we're watching Dating Coach reacts to Felix and Marzia Shelburne. Dating Coach, eh? All right.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Then this will make a lot more sense. So a decent amount of his 19-minute video is just him staring like stone-faced into the abyss. Like I haven't seen this type of video since like 2014 Jinx. I don't know if anyone remembers him. But you know what? Let's just watch and see.
Right away. I don't know why I would think that you would have been there, but I was trying to...
Oh, this is so adorable.
Excuse me, I'm allergic to fake. This sounds like the fakest compliment I've ever heard of.
So adorable. Adorable.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love Felix and Marzia. Like, I've never rooted more for a celebrity couple than them because most of the time I don't care about celebrity couples. But Felix and Marzia were really special. NGL. I honestly think that's because they're like one of the most genuine couples that are in the limelight. But the fact that they've managed to stay so humble in spite of everything that's happened to them, I don't know. It's kind of like unicorn rare, right? It's not something you see often.
So adorable. Adorable.
But I don't know, the way he says this just feels super fake. Like he's pretending to have all these emotions for them as a couple, but he obviously doesn't.
Adorable. Adorable.
Okay, but just as a disclaimer, these are things that I just picked up since 2017, but I still feel like I have a better grasp on their relationship than this guy does.
And I love how she is the pursuer in this relationship right now.
Okay, just saying, for a coach that's been doing this since, wait, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it since 2005.
Since 2005? Okay, so you've been a dating coach for as long as it takes a child to become a high school sophomore. Keep that in mind. Why aren't you talking more about the girl being the pursuer here? You just like, oh, they're adorable. Oh, they're adorable. We already know they're cute. I ooh and ah every time there's some Marzia fan art on the PewDiePie submissions or the Lawai, okay? But the fake, so cute is like too much for me. I don't know. I might sound a little angry. I'm not. I feel like this is such a pointless video in the sense that he's not actually commenting on, he just wants to make a reaction video and really get some clicks. If you're gonna provide some insight as a dating coach, provide insight related to PewDiePie because you're using him as your title and thumbnail, okay?
Wow, that's pretty forward for the first couple of messages. For Felix to say right off the bat, especially being somebody that has a big name. And I don't know how big he was back there, but I'm sure he had at least 1 million subscribers.
Okay, stop. Okay, if you're a legit dating coach and not just relying on big names to get into your title for clicks, you should be doing your research, okay? I don't know all of the specifics of Felix and Marzia's beginning because I jumped on the bandwagon in 2017 to help PewDiePie fight the Wall Street Journal. But if it is my job as a dating coach to analyze a couple's meet cute, I should be doing some research at the very least to figure out like the power dynamics that they had when they met. Because let's just be honest, when someone with a lot of fame gets approached, their status will affect how they approach the situation and how others perceive them. Money and status are gonna affect that. And sometimes that makes people a little bit wary of like, does this person actually want me for me or the hoopla that I'm surrounded by? Like an example of a mega influencer trying to put themselves out there in the dating world that went terribly south was when James Charles tried to ask out the waiter. And the waiter wasn't really interested at first until his sister told him who he was and that he should message him back. Obviously, I can't provide too much insight into what happened there, but it really sounded like the waiter wasn't all that interested until fame was in the equation. So you can't really deny that status and fame have an impact on how people approach relationships. But here, you don't even have a good idea of how many subscribers or how famous he was even in the YouTube realm before they met. Yet you try to make a comment on it? In this case, Marzia messaged Felix when he had about 5,000 subscribers. I want to say, I mean, I'm taking Felix's word on this. I didn't actually look into it specifically, but I knew it wasn't like he was the biggest name on the planet. For sure, it wasn't that. So she messaged him about 5,000 subscribers in. He dropped out from uni. He was selling hot dogs and uploading gaming videos on the internet. Generally speaking, that's not a formula for success in most girls' eyes. But that also tells you something really important. What she saw in him must have been his personality that he was putting out through his YouTube videos. That's what prompted her to reach out. There, I just did your job for you.
So the fact that he was responding in an interested way that was beyond just friends so quickly is interesting to me.
Interesting. Interesting? That's the best you could come up with to describe his response. Funnily enough, I think his actual instinct was to say something like, oh, that's a little bit risky. But I think he tried to soften it with a interesting, because we all know that Felix and Marzia are endgame. But here's my interpretation. The most important thing to note is that Marzia was the one who messaged first. When girls are the ones to first message a guy, for the most part, you can kind of assume that we're interested or we've already secretly caught some feelings. Like, you also have to think about the society that we live in. There are still some societal norms that say that men should still be the ones to ask out the girl. So the fact that girls have to fight that internalized stigma and still take the initiative, you can almost be sure they're interested, at the very least in getting to know you better. Now, some girls may be like, oh, it's no big deal. I can ask a guy out anytime. I'm just speaking very broadly. I don't think we're at a place where societal standards for men and women are at a complete even playing field, okay? That's just the reality as I see it. So if that's the case, you can clearly see there's interest there. Why shouldn't you be straightforward? It's not like she was messaging him for a collab or something. And it's clear that Felix thought she was very pretty too. So if that's the case, it would be your best bet to actually be forward about it.
Now, I wonder how many times PewDiePie has actually gone on dates with his subscribers before he met Marzia. Was this a first-time thing for him? Was this new to him?
You're the dating coach. Why don't you do the research? You should be doing the research if you want to talk about this, okay? Not just us.
So adorable. So adorable.
Felix and Marzia are obviously couple goals. Come on now.
All I know is the conversation between them was so adorable and it was romantic from the get-go. I thought maybe they were like chatting about video games as friends for a while and then somebody talked about visiting each other and it was kind of cute and innocent. But no, they got right to the point pretty quickly, which it's cute. I like it.
No, you don't. I can hear it in how you prefaced it with, I thought they would meet and talk and blah, 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 blah first. You personally don't think it's cute, but you're forcing it. I can see it. As a dating coach, why don't you actually offer some insight? Oh, it's possible that English was not their first languages, so a lot of times you may have to simplify or get straight to the point. I might see some truth in that. Or literally everything I said about Marzia reaching out first. Like, that is your biggest green flag for someone who is interested in getting to know you better.
Why? Because the both of them sought out others that shared like-minded interests.
Okay, this is where I know he's talking out of his ass. Yeah, you can find your significant other through shared interests. That's a thing. And it really does help weed out people that have no understanding of something that you are very passionate about. Felix and Marzia are perfect for each other, obviously. But I don't think we can deny the fact that at the time, they were polar opposites. Felix was into gaming, Marzia was into fashion. Like, as time progressed, they definitely blended their styles in and partook in each other's interests. But at the beginning, no. Their passions in life were like on the complete opposite. But they were really open about supporting each other regardless. One of the things I remember from an old video was Felix saying after he met Marzia, he borrowed a CD from the library to learn Italian.
I thought this was funny because I clearly stole this from the Library of Gothenburg. And I think this was before I went over to Marzia. I took this. I'm sorry, Gothenburg Library. I'll return it one day. A course in Italian.
To me, that was one of the biggest indicators that they were gonna make it to the end. He did not know a lick of Italian, but being Italian is a part of who Marzia is. So even though they could both speak English, taking that extra step tells me that he's open to learning everything he can about her. And I'm sure Marzia did something similar. Because think about it, it would be way too easy to just be like, well, we can both speak English, so that's good enough. So that's why I think this guy is literally talking about the most generic shit ever, because it's technically true. Not to Felix and Marzia, but technically it's still true. But again, I want to reiterate, I know Marzia and Felix have shared interests, but he's acting like this is their reason for being. When I would rather say they're not the gamer couple or like an adventure couple that this guy's pretending that they are. They're a power couple with a lot of different interests, but have a lot of common values and underlying passions.
Look at their chemistry. Just like look for a second at how well they go together, how their weird sense of humor just matches up perfectly. That's what you want to look for in another person.
Yay, you finally made a valid point. 13 minutes in. But to end this on a happier note, I do think a lot of what he's saying is true. Like, don't waste your time trying to impress people or pretending you're such and such when you're really not, because you'll find the person that you'll want to be with much, much sooner if you just are pretty honest with yourself. So his critique on Felix and Marzia, I will award him a D-, but his advice, I'm feeling a little generous. I'll give him a C+.